Hey, 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 hey. Welcome to Increase Plus with Increase Magazine. I'm here with my special guest on tonight, and I'm so excited, family, about having this expert on tonight. Listen, he's not your traditional entrepreneur, okay? So I want y'all to get excited about what he does for a living and what he has to say about what he does and how he got involved in it. Y'all want to be a part of this, all right? So listen, if you could just just take the next hour and just focus in on what is going to be released. I'm excited. Listen, welcome, Eric. Welcome. Or should I call you the travel bishop?
The travel bishop.
All right.
My name is Eric, but the travel bishop fits me fine.
Oh my gosh. Listen, Eric doesn't just travel for fun. He travels for a living. Okay. When I say he travels for a living, I'm saying that this is something that he is able to enjoy life and get paid while doing it. And so I'm excited about having him on here. I'm excited about him talking about how he has blended the art, amen, the vocation of ministry and what he does for a living. So, Eric, on tonight, I just want to welcome and thank you for being here with me on tonight. I want to talk about the highlight of calling you the travel bishop. What is that all about? What does that mean?
Well, first, I just want to say thank you for having me. I'm so humbled, and it's a pleasure to be on tonight. Well, when you think about the travel bishop, I originally didn't come up with that. Originally, my business name was Born to Travel. I was born to travel. It was actually born to travel right now. Okay, that's what it was. And so, with anyone, you should always be ever evolving. And so, I said, you know what? It's time for change. And with that change, not only came me doing different things within my business, but I had to change the whole outlook of who I am. And so I began to brainstorm and start thinking about what should I call my business, and I was actually dreaming. I was dreaming one night, and people often always call me Bishop, like Bishop, because I am a preacher. So they say Bishop, Bishop. I was like, no, I don't want to be a bishop. So I was dreaming about having a conversation with somebody. Come on, Bishop, you can do this, Bishop. I said, we get ready to travel. And I woke up, I said, travel bishop.
Wow.
So, yeah. Woke up out of my dream and I actually went and wrote it down, travel bishop. And so doesn't necessarily say that I'm an actual bishop. Ask me, are you a pastor? No, I said I'm an elder. I'm licensed and ordained to preach the gospel. I'm not a bishop, but hey, it just fits. It was so befitting as to who I am and who I could potentially become. And so being that travel was a part of it, travel bishop. I had those naysayers like, oh, that's not gonna work right. But hey,
it's catchy.
Right. Through the process of time, it kind of stuck with me and it grew on me. And people would say, hey, even within my parent company, Archer Travel, at our conventions, everybody knows me as the travel bishop. Everybody knows me as the travel bishop. So it stuck with me. Yeah.
So I want to ask you, so what sparked your passion for travel? And is there a destination that you've experienced that changed your life or gave you a new perspective on travel?
Well, I always love to travel. Even, I've got some friends who growing up, they didn't do too much traveling. They always stayed local. They always stayed home. But my family, we always traveled. I remember as a little boy going to Stone Mountain as a young boy. Me and my oldest brother at the time, we would always travel. Went to Ohio. Me and my family and my parents, we always traveled. And so it kind of stuck with me until my adult age. But really the passion to travel for me really didn't actually take off until I got my passport. When I got my passport, that was it. I was like, I'm legit traveling now. I'm not doing the Myrtle Beach and the Charlottes and the Atlantas. I'm not doing the Atlantas and the Myrtle Beach and the Floridas anymore. I'm getting to take this thing international. And so the pivotal destination that kind of really allowed me to take off was when I went to Guatemala. I went to Guatemala in 2017. It was a business trip, but I went. I was there for 2 weeks. But that whole trip pretty much revolutionized me as far as travel, going to a different culture, also being there for the first time and experiencing my very first earthquake.
Wow.
So in the hotel, there was a 7.1 on the Richter scale earthquake while I was there. So just being in the hotel, and actually I was asleep. It woke me out of my sleep. Just seeing stuff actually shake, feeling the foundation shake. It was a very like, oh wow, it was exciting and kind of nervous at the same time.
Where are you from?
I'm from Orangeburg, South Carolina, by way of Columbia, South Carolina.
So you're not familiar with earthquakes. So
I'm not.
Was that your first one?
Never experienced it. That was my very first. I never knew what you always hear earthquakes, earthquakes in California, out west.
Yeah.
But to experience it being from the South, never experienced it before. You only hear about it, never actually experiencing it. So that was my very first time experiencing it. And so it was, let me tell you, it was different. If you've never experienced an earthquake, trust me, it's something that it's something that you will never actually be prepared for.
Wow.
So with the foundation shaking, the windows shaking, the chandelier and glass, the lights, everything's flickering. It's a very nerve-wracking experience. But
Wow.
while I was there, I was calling on Jesus, Lord Jesus, Jesus. And it lasts for like a minute, but after that was over. So that kind of just revolutionized. Okay, now I want to experience some real travel. I know it's more to travel than earthquakes. So that's really where I took off.
Okay. So our segment on tonight is called Work Hard, Play Harder, right? Why traveling the world should be number one on everyone's bucket list.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you believe that people should travel to their bucket?
Excuse me. Well, I think everyone should make travel a priority. It should be something that I put it off here or there. We've got to live life like it's our last opportunity, it's our last day on earth. And so let's say we do what we want, who we want. We do a whole host of things for other people. We pour into other people's visions. We show up for other people. And often, as I tell my team, it's time that we show up for ourselves.
That's right.
So right now, it's time that you show up. You can put some money aside to buy stuff that's gonna, fade away. We love to spend money on tangible stuff that'll fade away.
Yeah.
What about investing in yourself and creating lasting memories?
That's right.
Not only for yourself, but your loved ones. Create lasting memories that you can look back and say, hey, I spent this time with my family. I spent this time with my husband, my wife, my kids. And you can reflect on that. And that's something that you can pass down to generations. Like I said, those tangible things are going to fade away, but that memory is going to last, not only with you, but with your generations to come. So,
you know what? So I know Orangeburg, South Carolina. You may not know this, but when I was a little girl, I lived in Charleston, South Carolina until I was 9 years old.
Okay.
And so I know Orangeburg is not big. It's a small place. I'm from a place called Pensacola, Florida, which is a part of Florida, but people call us Alabama anyway, right?
Right.
And so most people in the place that I'm from, and maybe from where you're from, they usually don't go outside of where they're from, right? And can I tell you, it's not always because they can't afford it. Sometimes they believe that's only for the rich and the famous, the people that got it like that, right? Why do you believe that people should stop looking at travel as a luxury and start looking at it as a necessity?
Well, just like you eat, every day, just like being a part of the arts and being a part of culture, those things are necessity to have a wholesome life. Travel should be a part of that. And it doesn't need to be at the bottom of the totem pole. It needs to be something that's at the top of your totem pole to want to go out and explore this big green earth that God has created for us to inhabit until he calls us. And so those, and being that you mentioned Orangeburg, a lot of my friends that I went to high school with, said a large significant number of them still reside in Orangeburg. Nothing against Orangeburg, because that's my hometown.
I know.
That's my hometown. But to actually get away from home, and go away with me moving to Nashville, that was a pivotal moment for me. And really, I didn't really start traveling until I moved away from home.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, let's say my first trip out of the country was 2017. Actually, yeah, it was in 2017, right before I moved here. I moved here October 17th. I went to Guatemala September 2017. So when I left and moved to Nashville, that's when I started traveling the country and traveling the world and seeing places. And also with me being a travel agent, I was able to do it, on pennies on the dollar. So
come on. So as a travel agent, I'm sure you've met some people that you've been their very first time, experiencing their very first time of traveling somewhere that they've never been before. What can you say is a light bulb moment for people when they finally take a step to take that travel, that travel experience? What have they said when they finally did it? What happened?
Well, when the light bulb come on, a lot of people say I should have did this years ago.
Woo!
Yeah, I should have did this long time ago. Why did I wait so long? And that's the number one question a lot of clients do give me, or they say that's the questions on their mind when they come back. The trip was so awesome. I experienced this, I experienced that. I never experienced that before. They have memories of like, why did I wait so long?
Yeah.
Why did I wait so long to take that opportunity? And a lot of things hold us back because, some of us fear the unknown.
Yeah.
Some of us are used to culture as we know it.
Yeah.
You never shift into something new until you get exposed to it. So once you get exposed to it, then you're going to want more of it. But if you don't take that initial step to walk towards it, then you probably going to remain stagnant, remain in the same place. So a lot of people are like, well, I should have never waited this long. And I thank you for actually putting that experience together, because a lot of people don't know where to go. And so that's what they do. Put together, I itinerize them and say, hey, I give them options of where they can go based on, the lifestyle or the experience they want to have happen.
Okay, so if I call you for a consultation and I simply say, you know what, I want to do something I never done before, but I don't want to go to the regular places that that everybody else is going to, Orlando, Vegas, and stuff like that. But I'm scared, But so what can you recommend for me to do?
Well,
and I want you to recommend a place, because we're gonna role play for a second.
Okay.
Recommend a place.
Okay. Well, with that being said, as I have my consultation with my clients, I always give them, reasons why versus reasons why you shouldn't. Let's focus on the why. Let's cancel the why nots. Let's focus on the whys. And we begin to focus on the whys. Then we go into saying, hey, your destination, from A to Z as far as their threat of terror, let's say threat of danger, because they put them in categories.
Okay.
So, the higher the number, the higher threat. But when people say, hey, when you hear those threats about Jamaica, for example, let's say Jamaica, that's been a place that is always on high alert. Jamaica is always on high alert. But what happens is when an incident happens in Jamaica, then all of a sudden people get, oh, I'm not going. Mm-hmm. Well, no, Jamaica has always been high alert.
But that was going to be my thought, my comment to you. I heard Jamaica is on a high alert, so I just want to go to Myrtle Beach. How do you talk me down out of that?
Well, let's say United States is on high alert. Okay, there are certain places in the United States that's on high alert, but that doesn't stop you from traveling or going through there.
Okay.
But then you have to put it in perspective. What is high alert in Jamaica versus high alert in the United States? So you have to be mindful that it's locale. As long as you stay in the touristic areas of Jamaica and not go into the ghetto, so to speak, into where all the activity is happening. That's just like going through Mexico, going through the borderline of Mexico, going into the heart of Mexico versus flying into Mexico and flying into the tourist area. The touristic area is more, they have more security in the touristic side. As long as you stay within the tourism side of a country, let's say your level of security is heightened versus you venturing out or either renting a car and driving into those areas yourself. Because trust me, the locals there know tourists. They know who the tourist and who isn't it. And so I would definitely advise you to, hey, let's get away from Myrtle Beach. I give you the reasons why you should go, the reasons why it's safe, the areas that you should stay in, the areas that you should avoid. That's a part of my consultation.
Wow.
Mhm.
So, so I had another question, but before I go to that question, this sparked a question, which is, so you've been places, these places that you're recommending, so now you can
Mhm.
tell people more about them. Is that
Right.
correct?
Absolutely.
That's where your expertise come in, is with
Absolutely.
experience. I love that. So my next question is, Increase Magazine is all about um, career professionals,
Mhm.
marketplace leaders, right?
Mhm.
Have
Right.
you experienced travel to open up new doors and new relationships and connections for you?
Absolutely. As I'm traveling, I'm partnering with or looking for vendors who can actually cater to the needs of my clients.
Okay.
Versus, let's say you booking an itinerary with me and you having and I book you just a transfer from the airport back to the hotel to the airport, round trip transfers, versus me booking you with a local person who's there, who's going to give you more than just take you to the airport and back. They're going to actually show you around, be your tour guide,
Okay.
a tour guide type of a scenario, versus you just having a transfer who's going to pick you up. Let's say who's going to give you the international Uber effect. So Uber just picking you up,
Okay.
dropping you off,
Okay.
that's it. That's it. That's all the Uber's doing.
That's
Get
right.
They take you to your destination, may or may not help you get your bags at the car. But when you have a specialized tour guide who is unique to the area, who knows the area, who knows where to go, can actually be your guide, and also it actually could be your chauffeur, so to speak, can show you the area and actually be there at your beck and call, versus having someone who's going to pick you up and drop you off.
So you're not just a travel agent. It sounds like you a concierge. You making dreams happen.
Right, absolutely.
Okay. So I
Absolutely.
so my next question for you is, I need practical strategies about making this trip happen. Okay. So you telling me that it's gonna cost me about 1,800 per person to go on this experience, but it's four of us, and I ain't
Mhm.
got 1,800, dollars right now per person to give you. What kind of strategies can you give me to get this trip really going?
Well, that's an easy one. So, as a culture of people, we're, you know, let's say as a culture, and it is what it is. We are always looking for options to pay now. Let's say book now, pay later. Okay,
That's right. Tell
right.
the truth.
It is what it is. And so, as a travel agent, I'm able to offer those options. I have some customers who want to pay in full, awesome. But I do have options for those who don't have the budget at this moment to pay for it in full. We have payment plans. We have options where we can do a soft credit check and you can pay it off, uh, pay the trip off in full and make monthly payments. Those monthly payments might have.
Stay with me, y'all. We gonna bring Eric back. This little hiccup, but we back.
That's okay.
It's all right.
It's okay. It's all good. But like I was saying, it's really dependent upon your dates of travel. So if your dates are 45 days or more, let's say 60 days or more, you're able to get that payment plans. The far ahead your dates are, the more time you have to pay. The closer your departure dates are, the less time you have to pay. So for your example, you had an $1,800 per person. We can look at it one of two ways. We can decide, hey, does this 5 or 7 day trip going to fit, or you think you want to bring this back down to maybe 5 or 4 days, something that's going to be economically sound for you. 1,800 is not a large number, but when you begin to bring it back, let's narrow it back, let's scale it back to, hey, 5 days or 4 days, and still to get the same experience, and so we can actually accommodate your budget. And also, with that being said, you have the options, and if you still set on doing it at that number of days, you still can opt in for the payment plan.
Okay. Okay. So if I had the choice to take the vacation of a lifetime, what destination would you refer me to? If you said, listen, you
Wow.
before you die and leave here, you gotta experience this one destination. What is that destination?
That destination will be Brazil.
Whoop!
Brazil.
I like Brazil. I
Brazil.
like the way it sounds. Brazil.
Brazil. One of the girls of art. Brazil. And
Why,
that's actually
why
on my
Brazil?
bucket list. That's
Why?
on my bucket list.
Okay.
Okay.
Why
So
Brazil?
I want to visit. I want to see the statue of Jesus. They had the statue of Jesus with
Oh
the
wow.
hands out. I want to see that. Actually, I saw that on my timeline today. I said, yep, that's it. I'm going. So I would encourage everyone to go to Brazil, experience seeing the statue and experiencing the culture there.
We say work hard, play harder. What does I done lost my guess. We say work hard, play harder. What does play harder mean to you? What does that mean?
Well, play harder is actually me not going to 9 to 5. That's play harder. Play harder because I'm able to take my time. I'm not, let's say, bound to a 9 to 5. I'm not bound to someone else's schedule. You know, if I decide to get up today, I decide to get up today. You know, if I want to sleep in, I can. You know, and travel can and will afford you that opportunity to where you can retire and do this full time. That is my goal. Ultimately, you know, I had to go back to work, but it is what it is.
Right.
You know, hey, these bills are coming around faster than these commissions are coming. It is what it is. It's just a little short-term thing because ultimately I started full-time back in February of this year and I went back to work in July. So ultimately my goal is to be back full-time by the end of this year.
Okay.
But yeah, me playing harder is me being able to take my own time and not be bound to someone else's schedule.
Yeah, yeah. So you know what? So we talk about these trips, but one of the things that I have like focused in on you since I've connected with you is the cruises. We got to talk about the cruise.
Right,
Okay.
right.
What's you listen? I ain't been on a cruise. Okay. I'm actually
Wow.
a little, feeling some kind of way since COVID, right? When I found
Right,
out people was dying on there, okay?
right,
COVID.
right.
So I feel like it's too close for comfort. But it looked like you having some fun, some amazing fun. You got to tell me about these cruises. Talk about the
Man,
cruise.
it's nothing like going on a trip where you can visit multiple places in one trip.
Wow.
Nothing against taking a land trip because I like going to one destination, experiencing that hotel, that resort, going out doing my excursions. But there's nothing about being on a ship where you can have all inclusive, all your food is included, your drinks, you purchase the drink package, your activities, the ports of call that you get to visit multiple places in one trip. And instead of just having let's say a photo bomb, let's say what you call that, when people take all these pictures and they just post them on their page. Just let's say a photo bomb of one destination. You've got multiple pictures of at least 3 different places that you've been on this cruise. So cruise is it. If you have not been on a cruise, you need to go on a cruise ASAP.
Listen, Travel Bishop. I seen a Facebook video of them people missing the boat. The boat was leaving them people. Now, what I do when them people leave me?
Well, that's why you got to be passport ready. See, those people that got left didn't follow instructions. You see, you got to follow instructions. If the people say be back at 2:00, you need to be back at 1:00. Okay.
Oh, okay. Okay.
At 1:00.
Okay. Okay.
Always be at least an hour before. Let's say an hour and a half before the initial time for the ship to leave. Because trust me, the only time that the ship will wait for you, unless there's an excursion that you book directly with the cruise line, and for some strange reason, the activity was delayed.
Okay.
Only because you booked it with the cruise line, they're obligated to wait for you. But if you book your excursion outside with a third party and they're late, they're not going to wait for you. So it's best that you have even though most cruise lines say no passport is needed, just a birth certificate and ID, but a passport is highly recommended because if you get left, it's your responsibility to get to the airport, either get to the airport and meet the ship at its next destination, or you fly back home. The only way you're gonna be able to fly out of the country, only way you're gonna be able to fly out of that country back home is you got to have a passport.
Wow.
So yeah, so it's very important that everyone be back on time, be back on the ship. Either stay on the ship and enjoy the activities, or be back on time.
How is the food on the ship?
It's a matter of preference. Let's see. It actually is based on the cruise line, to be honest with you.
What's the better one?
Well, I say I do it by cruise line. So the best food that I've had with Carnival, the Carnival ship that had the best would be Carnival Renza. I just got off there in June.
Wow. Okay.
And that one ported out of LA. I'm sorry, Long Beach, out of Long Beach, California. So I flew to Long Beach to catch that ship.
Why did you go to Long Beach instead of going to Jacksonville or something like that?
No, because depending on where you're catching the ship from is only going to go to certain areas of the country. It's going to go to some place, because I was going to Ensenada, Mexico, and Cabo. And Cabo is on the west side, the west coast of California.
Okay.
You're not going to take a ship from Jacksonville to go to Cabo. That's going to be too many days. You're not going to be able to do that in a 7-day trip.
Okay.
So you fly to Long Beach, and it takes you out. Is that the Pacific Ocean? Out there, or is that Atlantic? One of the two.
No. It's the Pacific.
The Pacific. I thought so. Pacific. So the Cabo and Ensenada is on that side of the Pacific. Where we're on the East Coast of the Atlantic. So it's best to catch your like just for example, if you were going to Alaska, you're going to have to catch the ship from either Washington State or either from Long Beach as well. You can't go to Alaska from Jacksonville or Florida.
So your port matters.
The port does matter. The port does matter when it comes to, let's say, for your Caribbean, certain parts of your Caribbean, you can catch that on the East Coast, or either from Texas, Galveston, Texas, New Orleans. You can catch the Caribbean parts on that side. But if you want to go to a certain part of Mexico, Cabo, Ensenada, you got to go to the West Coast.
So I want to ask you, how can travel be a blessing to me financially and leisurely at the same time? What can I do to get like you?
Well, trust me, when I say travel can definitely be a blessing. If you're that type of person who has always done the planning for your family, you always plan the trips. Everybody's calling you, hey, can you book this? I need you to look this up. You are a travel agent pro bono. Okay, you're doing it for free. Okay, so if you're already planning it, let's say if you're already doing the planning, why not get paid to do it?
Wow.
The commission is, let's say, endless, up to 90% commission when you're part of a host company. I'm a part of a host company, and we get up to 90% commission off of your book. We do have some 100% options as well. I do book some travel and I get 100% commission, and it's immediate versus having to wait till they come back from their trip before I get paid.
Wow.
So yeah, there are definitely many options that you can, let's say, directions you can go with being a travel agent. It can be a tremendous financial blessing for you. Just to put into perspective, when I first started making real money, and I was only doing it part-time. I wasn't doing it full-time. So I think in 2023, I was still doing it part-time. 2023, I made $20,000 just doing it part-time. Just imagine if I was doing it full-time, Yeah, but I was doing it part-time while working a full-time job, and still made an additional $20,000 that year on top of, my job.
Wow.
So, just putting in perspective the money that can be made. And that's was only doing maybe, I say on average, about 2 bookings a month. Wow. 2 bookings a month got me $20,000. But it's the type of bookings that you do, because I specialize I'm a full service travel agent, meaning I can book anything if it's related to travel, I can book it and I will book it. But I kind of home in my specialty, my niche is groups. Like
Okay.
your reunions, your graduations, reunions and things of that nature with a group. That's where the money comes in. I've got actually 3 group bookings now that's already active now. 2 of them are getting ready to sell next month.
Wow.
The group bookings. I got a class reunion that's going in October. Got a class reunion next year. Got a graduation trip next year that's already planned. That's in the works as we speak. And so when you talk about groups, nothing against the individual or couples groups or the solo travel, nothing against that at all, because I will book it. But I kind of want to home in on groups.
Got it. Got it. So that's your niche. I
Yeah.
like that. So let me ask you a question. If someone wanted to be a part of this business, what would they do?
Well, good question. Glad you asked that. And so what they would do if someone they had an interest in being a travel agent, and they would definitely continue reach out to me. I can send them a 3-minute opportunity video that gives them a high-level overview of the opportunity. I like to spoon feed people. You don't want to give people too much at one time. You want to overwhelm them, because if you overwhelm them, I don't see how I can do this. But if you spoon feed them, just give them a high-level overview. And if they still piques their interest, then we go to the live Zoom opportunity where we have a live call, just like you and I, a live call that goes into the ABCs of it all.
Okay.
What's required, how much it's going to cost, the investment, because it's definitely an investment. And it's really not a job. I like to explain to people, this is not a job. This is a business. This is a tax write-off. This is a I-9 opportunity. This is not a business. And so when people say, am I hiring? Yes, I'm hiring, but I'm hiring you to do this for yourself. You in business for yourself, but not by yourself.
Okay.
And so that's pretty much the scope of being a travel agent. And if once they get off the call, that live Zoom, then I follow back up with them to find out, what did you like about the opportunity? Now that you know the nuts and bolts, a lot of them have multiple questions, which I don't have a problem answering. Then you got those ones that I'm ready. Let's do it.
That's right.
I'm ready. Let's do it. And so they're able to sign up. And right there, immediately as they sign up, they have to take I think it was 8 to 10 module training on their back office. They get a back office, they get a website, they get all the tools, all the videos. I send them a number of videos. I work with them week by week. I just don't bring them on and then leave them out there. I work with them week by week, answer their questions. I follow up with them, make sure they're comfortable with all the tools that they have at their fingertips. I show them what I do, what works for me. And I told them, look, just make it your own, because you're not going to be able to do it just like I do it, but make it your own. Let's talk about what works. Let's chew up the meat and spit out the bones. Yeah. And so, once they come aboard, you become a certified traveler after taking your modules. And you're ready to travel.
Wow. Yeah. I love that. So where are we headed to next?
Well, I think this is it. I'm done for the year. I'm done for the year. Okay. I'm done for the year right now. So
that give me my next question then. How many vacations do you take a year?
Oh, at least about 5.
Wow.
At least 5. So I did 3 cruises back to back.
Wow.
Yeah. I went in May, June, and July. So 3 cruises.
What you do for a living? Because baby, you is traveling. Okay, come on here. Stop playing with us. You traveling. There are people like, where is he going now? That's awesome. Wow.
Yes. I work. Let's say I worked in consumer. I'm sorry, I'm getting tongue tied there. I worked with business to business credit and collections, also from business consumer credit and collections. My last role I worked for a bank called Flagstar Bank, and I worked in the mortgage division. And so that's pretty much what I did as a career. And I did that type of business I've been doing that industry about 25 plus years.
Wow. Okay. Whoa. I just want to know, because I'm just trying to travel too. Okay. Listen, if y'all have any questions on tonight, go ahead and put them in the chat so I can make sure that he get them. Okay. I want to make sure we, we leave him empty tonight, right? He came full. We trying to empty him tonight. Because listen, I'm kind of jealous with all
And
this.
also, I got my shirt. I got my business logo on my T-shirt.
Look at
The
that.
Travel Bishop. Yes.
And so, I want to talk about your experience with writing for Increase Magazine, because you are our expert travel agent that has been with us all 2025. And I want you to talk about your experience with Increase Magazine. How has that been for you?
It has been a stretching experience. It has stretched me. I do have some stretch goals, and one of my stretch goals is being able to write and just to brainstorm and write stuff down. And when actually being a part of this put the pressure on me.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to talk about, and it put the pressure on me, and it kind of took me out of my comfort zone. And being that I'm a preacher, I should often want to write because I have to write out my messages and what the Lord gives me. But writing for a magazine that someone actually read versus me verbally communicating it, someone reading it, I was a little more critical of myself. Does that make sense? I'm like, I'm looking at it and say, wait a minute, does that make sense what I'm saying? I know it makes sense to me when I'm talking it or speaking it, but me writing it down, I want to make sure that I'm making sense. I don't want to make sure that I'm going over anyone's head. I don't want to use any jargon that, no one understands. So it kind of put me it stretched me for a bit. And it took a while for me to get into the habit of, okay, what I'm going to think about, what I'm going to talk about, why I'm putting the next one, I'm brainstorming, what am I going to talk about the next month? Okay. Oh, yeah. I'm like, no, that doesn't work. But, I'm just talking to myself, no, that's not going to sound good. I scratched that. So I have actually gone to a number of different ideas before I actually said, this is what we're going to talk about. So,
but you know what? I like the fact that even when I presented a topic to you, you came back and said, no, I'm going to talk about this.
Right.
And you stay true to you. And that's really important because actually being a part of Increase Magazine, it actually boosts your credibility in your field.
Right.
So when people see you or they connect with you socially, they say, I seen you here. So you got credibility. And a lot of people don't understand writing takes your authority in your field to another place.
Right.
So I can truly appreciate it. I really appreciated the Real ID. You wrote about the Real ID and how people the transition there. Listen, they ID card that don't work no more to what do work. What I did, and let me tell you what that article did. It made me start looking at everybody in my house ID.
Right.
And I noticed my husband had a star on his. I ain't have no star. I got mad. I was coming through the house, went to the DMV and asked them, why this Negro got a star? Okay. So I found out that, he has a very high security clearance.
Right.
Which says that he has a visa in another country.
Right. Right.
So I didn't know that, but now I know because I got angry. Okay, so if you got an ID and you just got the black star and he got the silver star,
right?
It means something. So
right. It definitely does. Definitely does.
So I thank you for that article, and I think it, actually the quarter you wrote that we reached 500 subscribers.
Oh wow!
We sold 500 magazines, so people really got a hold of that one.
Absolutely awesome.
That's really awesome. Yeah.
Awesome.
So I know a lot of people would say travel is something that they already know about, but this is the part about travel that you don't know, that it's necessary. There's so many people that are career professionals, marketplace leaders, entrepreneurs in ministry, leading something, and they never take the time out for self-care. Travel is self-care. Can you say that?
Right. Absolutely. It's definitely healthcare. Trust me. We're in the hustle and bustle of life, hustle and bustle of our job. We're taking care of, some of us are taking care of our elderly parents. We're taking care of our kids. We're seeing after our loved ones, seeing after everyone. But really, sometimes we neglect ourselves. And, we can't be a strength to somebody else if we really haven't poured into ourselves. Like they say on the airplane, in the event of situation and the airbags drop, put the airbag on yourself first.
That's
Then
good.
you have to do it to yourself. You have to revive yourself before you can be a help to someone else. You can't be a lift or encourage to someone when you're depleted.
That's right.
So travel.
Before you go that deep, I wanna spotlight you on this part, because my last and final question for you tonight is this. What is one takeaway that you can give to the audience tonight? And what is your petition to the audience tonight, why they need to step out and take their next travel experience?
Well, I can say this. For years, we always heard, and I don't want to get spiritual and deep, but it is what it is. For years, people have said, hey, we're living in the last days. You know, we're living in our last days. And this is so very important. We don't know when we're going to be called away. And so why not now take that opportunity now while you still have breath in your body to make that lasting memory? I put a post out there saying that we should always focus and strive to die empty and not go to the grave full of missed opportunities, full of miswritten books about your experiences, full of ideas that you didn't pass on, full of just things that you should have actually given to the next generation. And travel can be one of those things that you can pass along to your kids. Say, hey, I remember the time we went here. You can spark an interest or spark a level of interest into the next generation to want to take it to the next level. Just like Jesus said, he said, greater works shall you do. He didn't say better work. He said just more works you do, not better, but more. You're going to do more. So you passing along that experience to the next generation, taking time to invest in yourself, to rejuvenate yourself, and taking that opportunity to not only just survive, but to live life like it should last. Because trust me, we don't know, we're here today, and some people say here today, gone tomorrow, but some of us have been here today, gone today. So take that opportunity now and make travel a necessity. It's not necessarily have to be something extravagant, but just take the opportunity. If you have to do a staycation and work your way up to leaving the country, hey, you can say, hey, I had a lasting memory at the staycation. I was at the hotel and you rejuvenated. You spent time with yourself. You had time to reflect. That's what's most important. Reflecting and also rejuvenating and also taking an opportunity to live like it should last.
Wow. Eric, you have really expanded our thought process on travel. I thank you for taking us beyond the borders of the United States and telling us, listen, it's time to live, right? Listen, my bucket list is Dubai. That's where I'm trying to go. I'm trying to go to Dubai. Everybody's talking about Dubai. I gotta go, right? I want to experience that. My husband said, well, before we go to Dubai, you're gonna have to tone it down some, sister, because you're gonna be they be done locked you up. So, sometimes people ain't traveling to certain places because they gotta get their character gotta get together,
Right.
And so I'm ready to travel. I have been afraid to go to Africa. That is the truth. I know, God says it's time to go over there, but listen, pray for your girl, okay?
I got planned already. My girls' trip that I plan them every year. I already got them booked to Cape Town, Africa.
Oh, wow.
Cape Town, Africa in June of 2026. So it's time to do it. It's time to do it.
Wow. Look, they laughing at me. I don't care. Y'all can laugh. Laugh all you want. I said what I said. But I thank you so much for coming on tonight and sharing your heart about travel and sharing your experience with Increase Magazine. I thank you for being transparent and not sugarcoating, because people need to know it's a stretch to do what we do, right? And sometimes they can see the glory, but they don't know the story behind the glory, right?
Absolutely.
And so I thank you. If you have anything else you would like to add tonight?
Well, For those of you who want to know how to get in contact with me, you can reach me at www.bookwiththebishop.com. That is my website. You can also find me on Instagram, The Travel Bishop, and I'm also on TikTok, The Travel Bishop as well. So those are my social media outlets. And so if any of you guys are interested in travel, you can definitely reach me at 615-601-1952. That's my business line. You can reach out to me on Facebook at Eric V. Brooker. That's my Facebook personal page. You can hit me up there. So if you're interested in travel, hey, go to my DMs and I'll be glad to assist you and walk you through the process of being a travel agent. Or if you're just ready to travel, you can reach me at any of those outlets as well.
Oh, thank you so much for being with us tonight.
Absolutely.
Listen, y'all, the Travel Bishop has helped us get rid of our excuses, to get rid of from our sinking thinking, from anything, our fear. He has helped us, listen, see that there's something on the other side of the world that we just got to experience. Listen, I know that you have been edified tonight. I know that you have heard something tonight that sparked you to go ahead and start making the plans. Listen, it's time out from just writing the vision, okay? It's time for you to execute. It's time for you to go ahead and get on the ship or get left behind. And I thank Eric on tonight, the Travel Bishop, for being with us and sharing his experience. And it's time for you to create your own memories that last. It's time for you to have your own experiences that you can tell of on your own from a first person testimony. It's time for you to travel. Go and see the Travel Bishop. I'm going to have him put his information down here. You know what? I'm sorry. Let me bring him back. I can't let you go away that easy. Listen, what you got for us for free? We want something.
Excuse me. Trust me, I've got some certificates, okay?
Okay, that's what we want, a certificate.
I got a certificate for you. I've got it's a 7-day, it's an 8-day, 7-night resort certificate. You can go anywhere in the country. Only thing you have to do is pay the taxes and the fees on it. You do have, if you want to upgrade, you have to pay to upgrade, but and you also have to pay for your travel. You have to pay for your flights to get there. But the resort accommodation is taken care of except for the taxes and fees. So I have those certificates for you tonight.
Okay, so if anybody want one of these certificates, you got to do two things. You got to go follow the Travel Bishop. Who heard me? That's right. Number one. Number one, you got to go to the Travel Bishop Facebook page and you have to follow him. Okay. Number two, you got something we can subscribe to?
Not yet. You can follow. You can subscribe to me on my personal page, which is my business page, Eric V. Brooker, which is my personal page. You can subscribe there.
Okay, we gonna follow the Travel Bishop and we gonna subscribe to the Travel Bishop, and then you gonna comment and say where my certificate at.
Right. Absolutely. You okay. Gotta do those three things in that order.
That's right. Do those two things, and then you get your certificate. Because listen, I want to bless the people, and I want to bless him too. He has been a truly a blessing unto us tonight. All right. And I ain't gonna let him leave here full. He had to give us something. All right. Thank you so much for tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.